Dạ đúng rồi cô.
Dạ, rồi. Từ bây giờ mới đúng được nè.
Kindness in virtue.
Dạ đúng rồi, dạ đợi em xíu.
Ok. Dạ.
Rồi em sẵn sàng rồi đó cô. Em sẵn
Dạ,
sàng rồi.
rồi cả nhà ơi. Repeat after me. I'm on track, I'm ready nha cả nhà. 1, 2, 3. I'm on track, I'm ready.
I'm on
Rồi,
track, I'm
I'm ready. Let's go.
ready.
Lesson 7, Richness in Virtues. Reading 1.
Lesson 7, Richness in Virtues. Reading 1. What is
What is
virtue?
virtue?
What is
outstanding
outstanding virtues?
What
What
elements
elements
does
does a person rich in virtues possess? We invite you to find out through the following article. What elements does the person rich in virtue possess? Virtue is the inner characteristic nature within a person's consciousness. Outstanding virtues is the collection of inner characteristics within a person's consciousness, of which, when possessed, help the person achieve a set of sufficiency in both material and spiritual life. Person rich in virtue, người giàu phẩm chất, is a person who achieves a set of sufficiency đủ đầy across all five elements: benevolence, propriety,
The person who
righteousness,
achieves a
wisdom,
state
and
of sufficiency
trustworthiness.
in
This must
all
be
five elements.
across all four survival
Benevolence,
motivations: self, family,
From the perspective of
organization, and
Eastern
society.
philosophy,
From the perspective of Eastern philosophy,
propriety,
it is difficult
righteousness,
for a person to
wisdom,
perfect
and
the virtues
trustworthiness.
of benevolence,
These must
propriety,
be across the four
righteousness, wisdom, and trustworthiness.
survival
The centuries
motivations:
do well with
family,
these virtues.
organization, and
However,
society.
according to the
From
Western
the perspective
perspective,
of
we can achieve these
Western
virtues, and
philosophy,
borrowing the
these
Christian
four
concept makes it simpler. What
virtues are
elements does a
benevolence,
person rich in virtue possess?
propriety,
Benevolence, love,
uprightness,
associated with
wisdom,
talent,
and
nature,
trustworthiness.
contact. Benevolence, understood
This,
simply, is love,
this
and
virtue,
is
however,
related to the
according to
human
the Western
temperament trait
perspective,
of
we can
talent.
achieve
When people have
these
love, whatever they
virtues,
do,
and
they think
following
for
the
the
Western concept makes
benevolence,
it
understood
simpler.
simply in the Western
Elements
way,
that a
is love.
person rich
Instead
in
of
virtues
saying that
possess:
people must
benevolence,
live
love
with
is
benevolence, we
associated with
translate
the tolerant
indirectly,
natures.
simply
Benevolence, so
understanding
understood
benevolence as
simply, is a
love.
love
Instead of making
and is a
benevolence sound
related
abstract or
human
lofty, simply understand that
environmental trait of
being human
talents.
means
When
have love.
people have love,
Benevolence is love.
whatever they
Person
do,
loves
they
their self,
do
family,
for the
organization, and society simultaneously. We say that if the person lives with
purpose of
benevolence
making
toward the four
benevolence
survival
show
motivation.
abstract or
Conversely, if a person
lofty. We
only
simply
loves their
understand
self
that
but
being
forgets
human
society,
means having love.
organization, and
Benevolence
family, or
is
loves
love.
society but
Therefore, if a
forgets
person loves their self,
organization, family, and self,
family,
then that person's
organization, and
benevolence is not
society,
yet complete. A person
yes,
who
we
lives
say
with
that
benevolence toward the self,
benevolence
a
with
person
the
who
four
loves
survival
themselves is one who provides
motivations.
themselves with sufficiency
Family
regarding
allows
basic needs,
society,
the
but
safety needs,
forgets
needs for
organization.
social
Family is that
relationships,
a person benevolent is
wisdom,
not yet
needs for
complete.
self-expression or
Therefore, benevolence towards the self, a person
actualization,
who loves
and need to give.
themselves
A person who lives with the
is one who to provide
benevolence
for
toward the
themselves with
family. A person
sufficiencies
who
and
loves the family
regarding
is
basic
one to
needs,
contribute
society
to the
needs,
family's
needs for
sufficiency
society
regarding basic needs,
relationship, needs for
safety
its
needs for social relationship,
expressions,
for instance, need for
and need to give.
self-expression,
A
and need to
person who
give
lives
of the
with
family.
benevolence
A
toward a
person who lives
family,
with
a
benevolence
person who
toward the
loves their family is the
organization. A
one who
person who lives their
contributes to
organization is
family
the one who
sufficiencies and
contributes the
regarding for
organization's sufficiency
needs and needs
regarding basic needs, safety
social
needs, needs for
relationships, needs
social
for esteem,
relationships,
and needs
needs for
for
esteem,
expression,
need for
and need
self-expression,
to
and need
give
to give
the
give of
family.
the
A person who
organization.
lives with
A person who lives with benevolence
benevolence towards
toward the society, a person who
uh,
loves society is
benevolence
one to contribute to the society's
for
sufficiency
social
regarding
relationship,
basic needs, safety
need for
needs, need for
self-expression, and
social
need to give
relationship,
of the
need for esteem,
organizations. A
needs
person
for
who lives
self-expression,
benevolence
and need to
toward
give a
the
society. When
society.
people
A
live with
person who
benevolence
loves for
toward the force
society
of
is
survival
one
motivation, they
contribute to
activate their
society's
talent
sufficiency
nature.
regarding
Thus, their talent will be developed,
needs
and their wealth, it will
Social
grow. They
relationship
attract
is
wealth
dynamic
when they
process.
live
A
with
person needs to
benevolence
be
towards
part of
society.
society.
We
When
observe
person
that
lives
some
with
people who
benevolence
love
toward the
humanity,
cause of
whatever they do,
survival,
they think
motivation,
humanity
and
maximize their
activate
talent
their
and easily attract wealth.
natures.
There are
First, their
people who
talent will
feel
be
driven to
developed and their
humanity,
will
and
to be
as a
full.
result,
They
they acquire necessary
live with
resources.
benevolence
When
towards
people live
society.
with benevolence,
We
the talent
observe that there are
grows
some
and
people
is
who love the
activated.
humanity,
Talent,
whatever
talent
they
and
do,
wealth
they
are
think for
activated.
humanity
Therefore, the
maximize
virtues
their
that a
talent.
person possesses
We
for both
attract wealth.
their
There
material
are
life and
people
their
who feel
spiritual
driven to
life
have
develop.
humanity,
Propriety,
talent
courtesy,
grows
and the
and
right
is
way associated
activated.
with
Talent,
nature
wealth,
or
and
country.
activate
Propriety understood
virtues
simply is the
and
right way and courtesy
priority
related to the human temperament
grows.
trait of self-rest. A person who lives with propriety toward the self, a person who
Propriety.
shows propriety
Propriety,
towards
understood
themselves
simply, is the right
is one
way
who
to
cherishes
act.
and is grateful for their
Courteously
own
related to
presence. They
human
are also someone who gives themselves the
temperament, the
opportunity
traits
to
that are
receive and deeply
live
understand
rest.
life
A person
ethics,
who lives with
principles, and the
propriety
law.
toward the
The question
self,
is
a
posed:
person shows
have we
propriety
lived
toward
with
self,
propriety toward ourselves yet?
and accordingly
Has
to
the
receive
person who
deeply
cherishes
and
and
understand life
grateful and is
ethics,
grateful for their own
principles,
presence
and
already
the law. The
existed?
question is a
Have we
post
given ourselves the
we
opportunity
have
to receive and deeply understand
lived with
the ethic of life?
propriety towards
Propriety
ourselves
governs the
yet?
world.
Is that the
The
person
story
who
of President
cherishes
Lincoln,
and
when
grateful for their
arriving in a
own
local
present
area, hit
already
his head
existed?
on a low door and
Cultivating to
fell,
receive and
illustrates
deeply
this.
understand the ethics of
Except for
propriety
he
will
is
oneself
setting and that since he came to a new place without bowing
who
his head,
upon
a
arriving
straight head
in local area
was normal. That wherever one
suitable
goes, simply having propriety
and
allow
crab head was normal.
propriety means
Wherever that one
acting
goes,
correctly
is acted
according to the right
correctly
way,
according to
ethic,
the right
principle, and
way.
law. A person who lives with
Person who
propriety
lives
toward the
with
family, a
variety
person who
toward the
shows
family,
propriety
a person
towards the
who shows
family, is one who cherishes and
variety
is
towards
grateful
the
for the
family, is
presence
the
of
one
family
who
members.
cherishes
They are one who
and is
contributed to
grateful for
creating
her
a context of
presence
family to have
family
opportunity to
members that
receive
they
and
are
deeply
on
understand the
who
life ethics,
contribute to create
principle,
the context
and the
for
law. A person who
received
lives with
understand
propriety toward the
the principle and the
organization,
law.
a person
A
who
person
shows propriety toward the
cherishes
organization is
and
one who
is
cherishes and
for the
grateful for the
present the
presence of
people
people within the
within the
organization. They
organization.
are one
They
who
are one.
contributed to creating a
They are one who
context for the
contribute to
organization to have the
creating a
opportunity to
context for
receive and deeply
organization to have
understand life
opportunity to
ethics,
receive
principle,
and
and the
deeply
law. A
understand
person who
life
lives with
ethics,
propriety toward the
principles, and the
society,
law.
a person who
Person
shows
who lives in
propriety towards
variety towards
society
a
is one who
society, a
cherishes and
person who
is
shows the
grateful for the presence
propriety
of people in
towards
society.
society
They
is
are
the one
one
who
of the
cherishes and is
contributors to
grateful the
creating a
present
context of
people in
people in
society. They
society
are one
to
who
have the
contributed to
opportunity to
creating
receive
a
and deeply
context for
understand life
people
ethics,
in
principles,
society
and the
to
law.
have opportunity to receive
Righteousness,
and deeply
responsibility associated
understanding
with
life ethics,
reputation
principles,
nature.
and the law.
Righteousness, understood simply, is responsibility.
Righteousness,
It is
a
related to the human
responsibility associated with
temperament trait
reputation,
of
natural
reputation. A person who
righteousness,
lives with
understanding
righteousness toward
and
the self,
understood
a
simply
person
the
who is
responsibility it is
responsible
related to the
for
human
themselves is one who acknowledges
temperament
their
trait of
own
reputation, a
existence,
person who
recognizing their
live
existence
with
for some
righteousness
reason or mission.
chariots
A person
toward
who
the
lives
self,
with
person
righteousness
who
toward the family,
responsible
a
for
person who is
themselves is simply
responsible for their family is one who
is
acknowledges
for
their own
reasons or
existence
missions.
within the family, recognizing that they were born into the family for some reason or mission. A person who lives with
Person who is
righteousness toward the
responsible
organization,
for
a
their
person who is
organization is the
responsible
one
for the
who
organization is one to acknowledge
acknowledges
their own
their own
existence
existence
within the
within the
organization,
organization,
recognizing that their presence in the
recognizing that
organization
their
is someone
presence in
reason
the
or missions.
organization
A
is
person
for
who
some
lives with
reasons for
righteousness
our
toward the
missions. A
society, a
person who
person who is
lives
responsible for
with
a society is one who
righteousness
acknowledges their own existence within society,
righteousness towards the
recognizing that their
society. A
presence
person
in
who lives
society
towards
is for
society
some
acknowledges
reason
their
or
own
mission.
existence
Wisdom
within
listening
society,
associated with
recognizing that their
appearance
presence
nature.
in society is
Wisdom
for some reason and
understood simply
motivation.
is listening. It is related to the
Wisdom
human
understood simply is the
temperament trait
listening. It
of
is
appearance. A
related to
person who
human
lives with wisdom toward
other self.
demonstrates
A person who
assurance.
listens
A
to
person
themselves is
who
one who has an
listens to the
internal
process
awareness
of
that they
self.
need to raise the
Listen
level of
to themselves
understanding
is the
and
one
raise
who
the
has
wisdom level
an
to overcome
internal
all
awareness
arising
that
issue
they
problems.
need to
They
raise the level
recognize
of
that they need
understanding
sufficiency in all
and raise
aspects
the
of life.
wisdom
A person who
level
lives
to
with wisdom toward the
overcome all
family,
rising
a person who
issues
listens to
problems
their
that they
family is
organize
one who has an
and need
internal awareness that the
sufficiency in
family needs
all
to raise
aspects
the
of life.
level
A
of
person who
understanding
lives
and
with
raise the
wisdom
wisdom
to
level
the
to
family.
overcome all
A person
arising
who lives
issues or
to
problems.
their
They
family is the
recognize
one
that
who
the
has
family needs
internal
sufficiency
awareness
in
that
all
the family
aspects
needs
of
to
life.
rise
A
a
person who
level of
lives with
understanding
wisdom toward the
and raise the
organization,
level
a
of
person who
overcoming
listens to
all
their
rising issues
organization
problem.
is one who has the
Recognize that the
internal
family needs
awareness that the
sufficiency in all
organization needs
aspects
to
of life.
raise the
A
level
person who
of
lives with
understanding
wisdom
and
towards
raise
the
the wisdom
organization.
level
A
to
person
overcome
who
all
listens to
arising
their
issues or
organization is the
problems.
one who
They
has an
recognize that the people
internal
within the
awareness that the
organization need to
organization needs to rise the
sufficiency in
level of
all aspects of
understanding
life.
and
A
raise the
person who
wisdom
lives with
level
wisdom
to
toward the society,
overcome
a
all
person
rising
who
issue
listens to
problem and
society is
recognize
one who
that the
has
person
an
with an
internal
organization
awareness that
needs
society
sufficiency
needs to raise
in
the
all
level of
aspects of life.
understanding and raise
A
the
person who
wisdom
lives
level
with
to
wisdom of the
overcome all
society, a
arising
person who
issues or problems. They
who
recognize
listen
that
to
the people
society is
within
the one who has
society
an
need
internal
sufficiency in
awareness
all aspects
that
of life.
society needs
The
to
key
raise a
focus of
level of
wisdom
understanding
is
and raise a
this
wisdom
need.
level overcome the
Listening is
rising issue
needed to
problem.
acquire
They
knowledge with a
recognize that
teacher. Listening is needed to
people with
become
an
wise,
sufficient
gaining a
maturity
rising awareness to
of
the third
wisdom is
degree
need.
level.
Listening
One
is
that naturally
needed to
knows what to
acquire
say
knowledge with
appropriately
a
and
teacher.
naturally knows what
Listening is
action are
needed to
suitable,
become a
becoming wise.
listening,
Listening with the
rising
third degree
awareness
of
to
awareness
the
will
two degree
naturally to
level
one
that
know what
one
to do.
naturally know what
If one does
to
not
say
listen
approach
to
and
people, they
play and
will not
naturally know
activate
what action are
innate
suitable
wisdom. Listening
becoming
to
wise
people
and
provides
listening with
knowledge with a
the
teacher.
third
When given
degree of
opportunity to
awareness
listen to
to know
people,
what
one's
to
become
do.
wise and
Listening to
naturally knows
people
what is
provide
appropriate
knowledge
to
with
say.
the
Listen
teacher
to gain
when given
wisdom, and
the
when possessing
opportunity to
wisdom, use
listen to
wisdom to
people
listen.
when becoming wise
Trustworthiness,
and naturally know
punctually
what
keeping
appropriate
promises
to say. Listen to
associated
gain
with
wisdom and when
cessation,
wisdom
practicality,
use
truthfulness,
wisdom
and
to
so
listen
simply is keeping promises and being
is
punctual. It is related to
supplication
the human temperament trait of
trustworthiness.
satiation,
Understandably is
practicality. A
keeping
person who lives
promise
with
and being
trustworthiness toward the self,
punctual
a person who is
is the
trustworthy to
human
themselves is
temperament
one
trait
to
of
always keep their
suspicion
commitment
practice.
and
A
promises to
person
themselves.
who's
A person who lives
trustworthy
with
is the one who
trustworthiness toward the
firmly keeps
family.
their
A person who
commitment
is
and promise
trustworthy to the
themselves.
family is one who
Person
keeps
who
their
lives with
commitment and promises and is always punctual with
trustworthiness
family
towards the
members.
family.
A person
A
who lives
person
with
who are
trustworthiness toward the
trustworthy to the
organization.
family
A
is the
person who
one
is
who keeps
trustworthy to
their
their
commitment
organization
and
is one who keeps their
promise
commitment
and
and
is
promises is
always
always punctual
punctual
with
with
the people
family
in the
members. A
organization.
person who lives with
A person who lives with
trustworthiness
trustworthiness
to
toward the
the
society. A person who
organization.
is
Each
trustworthy
person
to
who is
society is one
trustworthy
keeps their
to
commitment and
organization
promises and is
commitment
always
and
punctual
always
to
punctually
society.
with
The key
people in the
focus of
organization.
trustworthiness
A
is
person who
maintaining the
lives
mental
with
image. For example, if
trustworthiness
you say you
to
will
a
go to
society,
children
a
at
person who
12
is
p.m., you maintain an
trustworthiness
image
to
that you will
society
eat at 12
is a who
p.m.
keep
Or
the
if you say
commitment
you
and
will
promise
wake up at 5
always
a.m. to
punctually
practice
with
stand and
people in
bone
society. The key focus on
transformation exercise,
trustworthiness.
you enter
You
punctually,
maintain the
even
image
if you go back to sleep
uh,
afterward.
at
A
12
person who
p.m.
maintains
that you
trustworthiness will be
maintain
able
the
to implement
contract
the principle cause and effect
existence
when
punctually,
desire are
even
fixed
you
and
go
choice
back
made align with
to
human
sleep
nature to achieve a desired
afterward.
outcome, or having fixes aspiration allows
This
one
is the
to
answer.
achieve what they
Maintaining
desire is also
trustworthiness. When
maintaining
trustworthiness is a
trustworthiness.
maintained
When
level,
trustworthiness
carry
is maintained,
divine
the words
power and
carry divine
efficiency.
power
For
and
example,
efficiency. For
who
example, a
from a
child
young
who from a young
uh,
age does what they say they will do. We
age
have
when
parents to report
until is
a
over
business
20,
ventures. The child
because
is
the
over
child has
20 because the child
maintained
has
a
maintained trustworthiness
trustworthiness
since
since a
childhood.
childhood.
Some
Some
self-person are
people are
occasionally listening and have customers buy their goods, but over time, no one buys because the good no longer possess divine power. It happens if they had not experiences the progress of service themselves, so they offer eventually stop issuing advice, limit making promises. If you promise, you must do it. If you have promised someone something, if do it for them. A child who does that say some small thing to big behavior, the parent immediately supports the application of the 5 elements of mutual generation and mutual overcoming or clarify outstanding virtue. The natural law in Oriental medicine, the explanation of 5 elements. This is the natural law. Wood generates fire, fire generates earth, earth generates mental generates water, water generates wood. When understanding the 5 elements, there are no inherent conflicts. We understand them to balance the mutual generation and mutual overcoming. Oriental medicine applies these factors very effectively. The law of mental wood, water, 5 earth, element, color, association, internal organ, emotion, wood, green, 3 liver, gallbladder, anger, fire, red heart, small intestine, joy, happiness,
social internal organs, emotion,
earth,
trees, liver, gallbladder,
yellow,
fire, red heart,
yellow,
intestine, joy, hope, happiness, earth, yellow, spleen, stomach,
spleen, stomach, worry, anxiety,
large intestine,
anxiety,
white,
metal,
lung,
white lung, large intestine, sadness, sorrow,
and sorrow,
water, black
linking,
kidney,
earth, spleen, stomach,
bladder,
sadness,
fear,
water, kidney, bladder, fear.
application in human body parts. So taste is good for the liver, but too much soreness also harms the liver. Bitter taste is good for the heart, but too much bitterness also harms the heart. Sweet taste is good for the spleen and stomach. Spicy taste is good for the lungs. Salty taste is good for the kidneys, but too much more harm the kidneys. The 5 virtues and the 5 elements. Benevolence belongs to the wood elements. Propriety belongs to the 5 elements. Trustworthiness belongs to the earth elements. Righteousness belongs to the mental elements. Wisdom belongs to the earth elements. Note the source associated wisdom. 3 with water, 3.
when a person has
When a person has benevolence, they activate their talent nature. Westerners are tough benevolence from birth. When they invent something, they think about sharing it with the world, thus developing their wealth and talent, making their material life sufficient. However, loving people too much can also affect the liver. Propriety, constancy, and acting according to the right way. When follow, one sleep well and night, related to sleep-rest nature. Anyone who violates the law and a fast heart rate and an uneasy mind. Trustworthiness belongs to the earth elements. Eating and drinking punctually is good for the stomach. Anyone who has a trustworthiness will have food to eat. Righteousness, responsibility. When a person is responsible, their voice is also better. They only need to breathe out, and others are already intimidated. So breath and lungs will be good in a company. Whoever is responsible is the person who has a reputation in company. For children, simply giving them some responsibility will have improved their lungs, and when they have responsibility, they gain reputation. Wisdom belongs to the water element, related to the appearance nature. A person who knows how to listen is good for the kidneys. Knowing how to listen to oneself and others improves one complexion appearance. The 5 temperament and are talent, appearance, reputation, satiation, practicality, and sleepless. Understanding the virtues have strengthened in our internal organs and develops talents, appearance, reputation, satiation, practicality, and sleepless. Instead of seeking things externally, if we just change ourselves, all our choices will be correct. For example, a woman seeks a man just to satisfy talents, appearance, reputation, satiation, practicality, and sleepless. Instead of seeking it, she cultivates outstanding virtues. She will naturally attract a suitable partner. When cultivating virtues, the study is not focused on one thing, but to balance all 5: benevolence, propriety, righteousness, wisdom, and trustworthiness. Too much love, benevolence overcomes trustworthiness. For example, if you tell your child not to come home after 9 p.m., but they come home at 10 p.m. and you overlook it. If benevolence exists, it's overcome trustworthiness, it's righteousness exists, it's overcome benevolence, meaning doing. And therefore, the task is to balance benevolent propriety, righteousness, wisdom, trustworthiness, so that both material, spirit, life, balance. Application in Oriental medicine, motherhood, childhood, self-good. For example, if water is good, fire is good, and wood is good. If simply make wood good, and mental will be good. If the child is weak, supplement the mother. If the mother is excess, reduce the child. The kidney is affected with cold, then reduce the child, meaning taking care for the liver if the child has a nightmare. Urination, warming up the mother will naturally solve the nighttime urination. In Oriental medicine, if an internal organ is damaged, people treat it indirectly, simply ailments and treated directly. Complex ailments are treated indirectly. Therefore, if we know how to balance benevolence, propriety, righteousness, wisdom, and trustworthiness, we can balance the human temperament and balance our health. Đọc bỏ nhiều quá.
Hết hơi rồi con. Rồi cả nhà mình tổng kết đi, xong rồi mình qua cái Zoom bên kia ủng hộ cộng đồng he. Xong cái mình quay lại mình làm tiếp he. Bằng chia tắt mic
Thả
rồi
tim
em
để
nói
mình kết thúc Zoom em chụp hình thôi báo cáo cả nhà. Rồi mình thả tim em chụp một cái hình xong mọi người ao qua kia ha. 1, 2, 3. Đẹp quá, đẹp quá, đẹp quá.
Bà cố luôn.
Dạ rồi.
Mình nhảy qua cái Zoom kia ha cho cả nhà.